8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Woo! Let's do this thing. Greetings, good evening. How you doing? On this 11th day of May 2017 in a multiple location station, welcome to the Shooter's Gallery. Yes, it's not an auditory hallucination. We are back. It's Thursday night, ready to have some fun. Set it off air, say it on air. No pressure, no stress, no worry. And anybody caught causing drama will be shot on sight.
We're in wrestling.
Oh, crap. I forgot about that. Okay, never mind. Well, okay. Those causing negative drama will be...
We're in rest.
Well, so we'll have a few less people to pay next week, and we'll have hot dogs left over.
Yeah.
More hot dogs for the fat man. That's all I can say. Greetings once again. I am the Magic City Motor Mouth Fast Eddie Lane, live from the all-new Studio One in Pelham, Alabama. Welcoming in tag team partner from the Peach State, Shane Knowles.
So with a new studio setup, we are like Mike and Mike in the morning. We are back and better than ever.
And I really just want to say something to Greenberg and Golick about Greeny constantly quoting Eric Bischoff's entrance music. That's the first one. He first said that. I really wanted to say something to him about that, but I just held off. And like to welcome back and in tag team partner from the desk of Phil Stamper. Guess what? He is the president of wrestling, Phil Stamper.
Good evening.
So how many controversies have you been into, Mr. President?
Oh my gosh.
How many people?
Gosh.
How many people have you had to fire?
Actually, people are quitting on me more than they're firing.
At Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. And of course, the chat room is open and available at BeyondRingside.com. Thank you to everybody tuning in through .com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, the Beyond Ringside Radio app. Tune in, Ustream, 16 different ways that you can listen to the station live and all of the original material, all of the original programming we have right here on Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. I am going to open this can of worms up and take aim at America's most watched company. Why do you have a champion that has not made a physical appearance on television, live or taped, since he won the title?
Because they don't have anything special, and making people wait for him will make it more special.
Okay. I understand special events. I've been married before. I understand sex during marriage is a special event. I understand certain people paying my bar tab is a special event. But when you have the champion of a company, I understand. Look, folks, for those of you tuning in for the first time, all three of us are in this industry. We have worked in various capacities and still work in various capacities. So we're not on the outside looking in. We understand the concept of suspension of disbelief. And believe it or not, I'm not angry, I'm not upset, I'm not ticked, torqued, irked, and I'm damn sure not twerking. Leave that alone. My hips just ain't going there no more. But if, and everybody will sit back and say, most people will sit back and say it's WWE, they're going to do what they want. And Vince wants to say Brock Lesnar for a special occasion or an emergency, kind of like he does Hunter or used to do Undertaker. I understand that. But let's put the world in proper perspective. The three of us work probably grand total for about 8 different companies in one capacity or another. So I'm going to take one company. Shane, you take one company. Phil, you take one company. And please tell me how long before people sit back, how many shows go by before people start going, where the hell's your champion at? I'll take Global Championship Wrestling, next live event slated for May 27th in Pell City. If the champion is not there one show, most people can blow that off. If the champion is not there for 2 shows, most people are going to go, hey, what's the deal? Shane, if you're champion at Peach State Wrestling Alliance, which of course has a live event coming up on Saturday, May 20th, Carrollton, Georgia, the historic VFW Fairgrounds. The only pisser is the Ferris will not be back this time. Didn't get to ride it. I'm upset. But if per se, Tommy Too Much. And there's a reason why I didn't give a champion's name for Global. I'll come back to that in the Spotlight segment, next segment. But if Tommy Too Much misses one show, people are pretty much okay with that. But if he misses two, where's your consensus?
Yeah, I think June will be the 9-year anniversary of Peach State Wrestling Alliance, and as you were asking this question, I thought, in my Rolodex, my memory here, 2 shows max have ever been missed consecutively for anyone that has ever held the Heritage title. I don't think we've ever dared do 3 just for fear of, why do you have a champion for? I mean, that's the response that's going to be met.
Yep.
Vince can get away with it. I'm not going to take a lot of time because I know Phil's still got to go on this one. But my personal opinion on the Lesnar deal, I'm not hurt either. I've been one of those that's championed for. I like the fact he's a special attraction, but the fact that he held the belt and did that sort of for like a year, as in and out, and then you had the little runaround deal, and now he's got it back. I'm not sure they can repeat history again, and people are just going to accept it. I mean, is this going to be the going pattern where Brock special appearance, finally drops it, gone forever, comes back, wins it, does the special. I mean, I just don't know, especially in 2017, how people's, I'm not going to say attention spans, but their patience will wear thin on something like that.
Phil, I go in your direction, and I will let you fill in the blank as to which promotion you would like to call out and represent on this one.
So are you saying that when the champion just is 100% not on the event, or that the title is not defended?
The champion is not on the event.
Okay. I can't even think of an event where that's happened more than, like, where they might skip a month. Like, so it's April, they're here, May happens, and they're off somewhere, and then June they're back. Actually, no, that's not true. Let me rephrase. Right now, at CZW,
there you go.
The tag champions Scarlett and Graves last month were at the event. This month they're in England defending the title on another event. Next month is Tournament of Death, and they're not on that. And then they would return in July if they are successful in retaining their championship. So that would be the longest run I think that I can even think of. Because even the Wired title that got lost over Championship Wrestling for Hollywood, it's coming this month back. So it's only been, I think, 2 or 3, maybe 3 months since it was physically here. Actually, 2 months, I would say, since it was physically here. I can't really think of a time the champion and the title were just completely gone for an extended period of time.
Considering the fact... Now, noting the fact that they are building toward a title match for Randy Orton at the next SmackDown live event on the WWE Network, which is available for $9.99, and if you order now, you get Backlash free. Included in your free month, I'll put it that way. Hunter, that'll be $10. Make it 30. I'm giving the other two. I'm giving Phil and Shane $10 each for that promo.
Woo!
Hey, you gotta love it when you make $10 and don't even have to say anything. Don't you wish you could pay Bill Behrens to do that? Oh, crap! Did I say that out loud? Oh, by the way, Bill, I know you listen, so I will reiterate to you what I said previously. Beedo, beedo, beedo. Red hat and all. Minion this. No, but knowing the fact that they're building Randy up toward the championship match coming up at Backlash, but once again, you have champions and championships that are non-existent in WWE, whereas other companies, and I'm not going to use the I word, I did that one time this millennium, that's all you get, because everybody knows what I consider the world of pro wrestling to be. We'll talk later. My side of the coin forthcoming. You've got Ambrose, who actually was publicly knocked in a promo for not defending his title. Thank you, Miz. My God, Miz got it right 2 shows in a row. More than that, considering SmackDown. But do you think, an open question for this one before I go any further, do you think honestly that the fans let it register when one talent calls out another one for not defending their championship, when all that person doing the accusing did was defend their title when they had one. Phil, I'll go to you first on that one.
So are you still saying in the context of another company?
No, we're still doing
Like
WWE for a minute. No, we can
Okay.
do either one or both. Take your pick.
Well, I mean, that was CM Punk's entire end of his time in WWE. Where's the champion? I'm here. I'm the most defending person. Blah 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 blah. And there's The Rock for a year. There, So there's part of my brain that like wants to come to understand it, and I really don't. And especially in the case of when I think The Rock had it, where I think they would have had a good opportunity, except for the fact that WrestleMania week, The Rock also had a movie coming out. So here was a perfect opportunity where he could do positive media for WWE, where he could talk up WrestleMania, the biggest wrestling event of the year. And I watched him on 3 different interviews. Not only did he didn't come out with the title, and he never once mentioned the letters WWE, and it was the week of WrestleMania, and they talked about the G.I. Joe 2, The Rise of Cobra. And I was like, are you really? Like, this is the week of WrestleMania, and you're the champion. You're not gonna talk about the belt, the championship, the WWE WrestleMania. That's where I thought they failed, because if the thought was, well, The Rock is now this mainstream figure. Okay, which I agree. I think The Rock is definitely an A-lister right now. But then it's not capitalized on. Like, even as a throwaway side comment, they lost their opportunity. Brock Lesnar is not an A-list celebrity. He is a recognized, known sports figure, but where is he? Like, there's barely a brief wind of his name, and that's the oddness of this. It feels weird. It doesn't feel like when The Rock was away. It just doesn't. I thought for a minute maybe with having that fight between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton that, okay, this will sort of be the representative championship that'll carry across all the brands for the moment, even if it's just sort of like, oh, this guy from Raw is facing Randy Orton from SmackDown. But that's not even how that ended up going on the pay-per-view. Oh, it's a non-title match. Blow off to a feud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Shane, your thoughts?
I agree with Phil. I think it feels differently with Lesnar because we know he's under contract that no matter what, I mean, he's not leaving for UFC at the current moment, like Rock goes back to Hollywood. So he's going to be there, whereas with Rock, we always knew you better see him while you can because this is just like a passing glance. He's not going to be around in and out for a sustained period of time. Couldn't agree more on the name brand value. I mean, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson is big in Hollywood. He's big in every social circle there is, and now the foray into politics, whereas Brock Lesnar's a big name in MMA fighting and pro wrestling. He hasn't done movies. He hasn't done a lot of the tie-ins that would get you that notoriety in other avenues. So, I mean, to me, Brock Lesnar's a name, at my shoot job that people know. He's a pro wrestler. I think it's kind of like when we go back 15, 20 years ago, they might know I've heard of Randy Savage or whatnot, but he's not someone that is just moving the needle. I mean, he does for WWE fans, but
right.
In context to Phil's point, it's not big time. Like when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, there's going to be something buzzworthy come out of this, some sketch that they do. Brock Lesnar does SportsCenter at 9 a.m. in the morning. That's a little bit different deal. To me, calling out the champion, I'm okay with it, except it was done by Dean Ambrose, who defended the Intercontinental title twice in 5 months. I mean, pot kettle black on that one.
I mean, the only thing I think of is like one of the reasons they did the quote-unquote shakeup was to bring over more talent that could carry quote unquote, carry the show without having a representative title, unless that representative title was the feud over the Intercontinental Championship. Well, that's not what they've done either. They're doing a feud. Actually, their main feud on Raw is Braun Strowman versus
Roman Reigns.
Oh my God, I almost said the totally wrong name. Versus Roman Reigns. Where the hell is Reigns? Oh, he comes back to beat up Strowman, who's now going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, which I think they knew of before this match with one arm that he had. I'm so confused at everything that just happened. And I'm barely even paying attention to Raw, and not because I don't want to. I just time-wise, I normally miss it or miss parts of it. So I'm a little bit off kilter with what really they are trying to do and what really it is that they want.
I'm beginning to wonder if they even know what they want. Because
apparently they haven't they announced that the date that Stephanie McMahon is returning?
Oh God.
Yay, that's the big date we have to look forward to on Raw right now.
I mean, to me, this feels like, we got to WrestleMania, and then after that, it was like, what the hell do we do till SummerSlam? That's quite a few months, and we've got 3 hours of Raw every Monday. We've got to fill. Let's have Roman and Strowman. There's a little rhyme for you. Let's have them recreate the Attitude Era and Nitro with giant Hogan-type suspend disbelief big-time deal, which I'm okay with. But, yeah, I mean, what I spoke of last week, you've got Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe, The Miz, all of them in the mix. And it's like, who's going to establish themselves as the number one contender for Brock? Because, to my knowledge, isn't Brock Lesnar advertised to defend the title at Great Balls of Fire?
I have not heard that yet.
I can only laugh. I'm sorry. I'm really trying.
Yeah, it's funny considering the fact that WWE has now managed to, and it may have something to do with some of the nudes that have leaked recently. I mean, but when you actually name your pay-per-view for the loose slang term for an STD, for those who don't know, I do refer to a sexually transmitted disease, i.e. Great Balls of Fire.
Well, I mean, I'm a whole lot of shaking going on. I said this off air, but Suspicious Minds. What other oldies, song titles are we going to make pay-per-view names? I would be shocked if Great Balls of Fire is still a WWE pay-per-view special event, network event name in 2018.
WWE My American Pie.
Aaron, you could go ahead and make a Divas six-pack match, call it All Shook Up.
WWE Leader of the Pack.
Leader of the Pack.
I like WWE Leader of the Pack.
Which one's going to be... Wait. Which version?
Does it matter?
Yeah.
Just to grind Eddie's gears, are we going to have Nikki Bella singing My Boyfriend's Back and
you're
going to
fired?
be in trouble upon Cena's return?
Screw you, you're fired. I'm gonna cross the line. You'll be competing in the Peach State Women's Title match next month. Come on, dude.
WWE Gary Marshall's greatest hits, and out comes Henry Winkler to introduce Brock Lesnar.
I'd rather have Lenny and Squiggy.
I would accept that.
Hello.
But only if we can get the Laverne and Shirley theme song.
Still memorable.
Our way.
Yeah, I mean, think about it though. God.
Chamaza, Hassan Pepper Incorporated. Da, 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 da.
Now wait a minute. Why don't you have Dean Ambrose come out to Leader of the Pack? He has the James Dean look going for him anyway.
That works.
Have Kane come out to Smoking in the Boys' Room. Oh, come on. That was funny.
No, smoke on the water.
Much better. Much better. I like that one better.
Oh, my gosh. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, it's not oldies, but I guess it is an oldie, an 80s song. The Undertaker comes out to Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo.
Very nice. We could have Breezango come out to Freeze Frame, Jay Giles Band. Photograph Def Leppard.
The next time they do the retro Raw, forget like what Raw was in the 90s. We're going to think that Raw was in the 50s, and we need to like redesign the entire roster to have 50s and 60s style wrestling gimmicks. You know what? One night. Just one night.
Open notation.
And Mean Gene Okerlund has got a host.
Yes.
Sing Tutti Frutti to get it rocking.
And at least have one appearance by Howard Finkel that we did not get at WrestleMania. Okay.
And that's, you touch on that, I just got to say, he's been relegated to announcing the WWE Hall of Famers at Mania the last few years. They couldn't even allow him to do that spot.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just thought of something a minute ago. And Dustin Rhodes, if you do this, I will buy you dinner at almost any restaurant of your choice. I dare on Old School Raw or whatever show they do it on. If Dustin comes out singing Tim Curry's "Sweet Transvestite" from Transylvania from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
But
if he had done that in '96 with the Piper feud, I would have lost it.
Oh, that would have been when WrestleMania Goes Hollywood when they did the Backlot Brawl.
Yeah.
But it's Dustin, so it's gonna come out like, "I'm a sweet transvestite." Like it's gonna be like, I ate your liver with some fava beans.
What if Dustin Rhodes sang that song with the electroshock treatment gimmick he was doing with the
transvestite? Oh my gosh!
Oh God, that's funny.
Come up to the lab and see what's on the lab.
They could even open Old School Raw with Time Warp. Let's do the Time Warp again.
That'd be
one of those
okay with
crazy
that.
like Land of a Thousand Dances they did in 1985 with the entire roster singing along.
That'd be funny as hell.
Oh, what was the song that the entire roster sang on the first?
Land of a Thousand Dances.
Yeah, then.
Okay.
That one, and also don't forget there was another track on, I think it was either Pile Driver or the original wrestling album, If You Only Knew.
Mm-hmm.
If you only knew what I'm gonna do to you, you'd be running
Oh,
out
yeah.
of here as fast as 2 feet could carry you.
I remember being, because I don't know if we'll ever bring this up again, the Pile Driver album.
Yeah, I still
How
have it on
shocked I
vinyl.
was at how good that Hillbilly Jim could sing on Waking Up Alone.
Dude, you got to remember, Hillbilly Jim was the one in charge of Coliseum Video for how many years? This man was a genius. He just got paid to play a hillbilly.
Oh, I mean, though, the first time I heard him sing, you know, I didn't know all that stuff beforehand, and I was like, "What? Hillbilly Jim has that kind of voice?"
Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised at how many people have genuine talent in the world of pro wrestling that far exceeds. I mean, it's like far exceeds their boundaries as to what your on camera and live appearance might think.
All right, since we're off the rails here, I'm going to
Let's
ask
go.
this round table, all three of us. Best entrance song Jimmy Hart ever wrote.
I'd have to see the list of what all he did.
Yeah, I can't remember all the different ones.
Oh my goodness, it's over 100.
Yeah.
I'd say for staying power, "Sexy Boy" for Shawn Michaels comes
Yeah.
to mind.
I'll have to probably go with that one.
Sexy boy. Yeah, I had to get it out just once.
Well, I figured you might go for the Kurt Angle version. Oh,
They
come
just
on.
showed it too, and then my brain's like, I can't remember.
And I hated that song when, bless rest her soul, Sherry Martell sang it. I mean, it was annoying.
But it was supposed to be.
Oh, I know, but
I'm actually in the process of looking up right now, so bear with me for a second, folks. Guys, y'all play for a second. I'll be back in just a minute.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
you got it. Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, spot from Big Bang Theory.
Ooh. I do need to learn that one. I have yet to actually learn what beats what with Lizard and Spock.
I have got to figure out. Hold on. Oh, that's just managed. Okay, Wikipedia does not have a list of songs that he wrote. Although it does have a list of people that he's managed.
Well, of course.
Let's see. Hart released in 1980s. Hart released a music album also on cassette. Called Outrageous Conduct. The release consisted of comical songs done in character, such as Barbra Streisand's Nose, Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield.
He did. There is a website called Famous Fix, F-I-X, Facebook.com that lists the top 10 Jimmy Hart songs. If you are ready, I will give them to you.
Go for it.
Please.
Number 10, the Wolfpack theme.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and...
Ooh.
Number 9.
Hitman.
Number 8.
Number 8 surprised me. I didn't know he wrote this one. Rap is Crap with Kurt Hennig and the West Texas Rednecks.
Score. Score.
I hate rap.
Number 6.
You skipped the number.
Number 7. Bitch.
Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, Light Sheet Steel or Latino Heat?
You know, it just says Eddie Guerrero. I think this list is full of shit. Excuse my language. It's all over the place. Okay. Oh, it's his WCW entrance, which I don't know. I don't think I can make this loud enough to be heard, but it's like the slow Latin beat.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's similar to Razor Ramones. Which actually,
Number 6.
which actually, Razor Ramones one of my favorite entrance musics anyway. Number 6.
Heart Attack.
Number 5.
The Four Horsemen.
Whoa, he wrote that one?
But let's see which one. They do have links to all the right ones. So, the music of WCW presents The Four Horsemen.
If it's the one that starts with the hoof beats, I'm okay with it. If it's the other one that just starts out with the guitar,
Yeah, it's the one that starts with the horseshoes.
then I'm impressed, and that just became my number 1 favorite Jimmy Hart song of all time.
Yes.
Because that was well thought out and well written. Folks, remember, if you're listening live or on replay and you've got one that you'd like to throw into the hat, at Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live, and of course the chat room is open at BeyondRingside.com. Where are we at, number 4?
Number 4 is Teeny Weeny? I don't know if I remember that one.
Leave Vince's IQ out of this.
Now, number 3, I really like.
Go with it.
Eat Your Heart Out, Rick Springfield.
Ha! There you
Love
go.
it. She's
Yeah,
my girl, and she always will be the only one for me.
Number 2.
Sting.
Okay.
And it is
The
the
man
creepy
that
crow
comes-
sting.
Shh, give me Seek and Destroy, please.
And number 1, and I don't know why this is different than the other one, but number 1 is the NWO Wolfpack theme that starts with the howl and goes into the yeah. But he did a lot of so many different people's interest music, and the Alex Wright WCW theme song, the All American Boys, American Males. Oh, the American Males theme song. That I actually liked that one.
American males.
Right. It was cheese enough just to get me by. Bam Bam Bigelow's Skank. I don't know if I remember that.
With
I don't-
Lola Bashan, or?
I'm gonna have to open that one up and see what it says. Barry Windham's WCW theme. Big Brother Booty for the Booty Man.
Durr?
Oh, he also did the. Now this one may vault to the top of the list for me. He also did Wayne Ferris's Honky Tonk Man
Yeah.
entrance theme.
Oh.
Long sideburns and my hair slicked back.
I was gonna say that one. Okay,
Coming
I'm
to
okay
your-
with that.
Coming to your town in my pink Cadillac.
Also did the. I remember he did the. Gosh, what was the I've got the name of the song. All American Boys for the Rougeau Brothers.
Ah. Now, they've got somebody else doing a lot of their music now. Jim Johnston, I believe, is the name of the person who's doing a lot of the WWE themes. And, of course, he can retire off the money that he probably got paid for doing Fandango's music. Remember, of course, the day after Mania a couple of years ago, everybody just played it on out.
I have a feeling that WWE doesn't necessarily pay royalties.
Probably
at least
not.
Maybe they do now. Maybe I shouldn't say that way, but
He probably got a bonus for that one.
even though my brain jumps tracks and wants to do the Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I don't even know where this is from. Do 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 do.
I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah, he wants to go there.
Yeah, I Dream of Jeannie. God, Barbara Eden is still beautiful too.
I love that Rusev's music though is royalty-free music that Microsoft used for a video game. I think it was called Wings Attacks.
If Microsoft owns it, it's not royalty free.
Well, no, they used it. Basically, Microsoft came up with a handful of, this was in the Xbox 360, a handful of free arcade games. So they used royalty-free music, so that way they didn't have to pay anybody out, and that way, that's why it was so easy for consumers to get it for free, because there wasn't a huge loss of money.
Right. Well, see, I'll tell you something, and I'll take us to break on this one, folks. When you listen to the majority of the shows here on Beyond Ringside Sports Radio and ProWrestlingRadio.net, speaking of royalty-free, we do use 99% of the music tracks that we use are considered royalty-free under the Creative Commons license in more ways than one. There's one person who is a tremendous resource that has been great about allowing us to use a number of his tracks here on Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. His name is Matthew Huffaker. If you don't know him by that name, for all the YouTube fanatics, look him up under the name Teknoaxe, Teknoaxe. Tremendously gifted musician, great musician, all the way across the board. And all of his tracks are royalty free. The only thing he'll ask you to do is, of course, acknowledge the fact that you are using his music, link him into the loop on it. If you put it in a video game, give him credits. Use it for a movie, give him credits. And if you watch if you catch both versions of the podcast feed in particular, and all the way through to the iHeartRadio feed, you'll see that we do give him credit. So like I said, TEKNOAXE.com, Teknoaxe.com. Matthew Huffaker, all the credit in the world, brother. You do some great work, and I appreciate, on behalf of all of us, thank you for letting us use your music over here at Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. Folks, tell you what, we are going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, the spotlight is on. Yes, we go shameless. Hang tight. You're listening to the Shooters Gallery on Beyond Ringside Sports Radio and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
Country Jack, Corey Hollis, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Larry Goodman, GWH News and Notes, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard, and if you want to listen to the best in professional wrestling, get locked in to Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
This is Bambi Weeble with Masters of Ring Entertainment, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hello again, everybody, and this is Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Radio for the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join us every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself, Rob Hefner, and Brian Taylor, as we bring you our thoughts and feelings on the world of professional wrestling and everything in between. As my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks again for listening to the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Hey, halfheads, it's a 3-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. And just like me, you are locked in Beyond Ringside.
And welcome back into the Shooters Gallery on this Thursday night edition. Just put the right headset on, stupid. That's all I'm going to say. The guys heard me say that. And it's like, I'm sure they're going, what? I have 2 headsets that I do. Y'all haven't seen the way I operate in here because of the factor of the way the board's set up. And I'll give everybody this one real quick. I use 2 mixer boards. One you can hear is set up for, sound effects, sound bites, and the microphones and the Skype line. The other goes in from the main mixer and also incorporates the music bed and goes out to the broadcast computer that I use. So because of the fact that I can't afford like the grand and glorious $8,000 boards, I use 2 boards. That way we can talk off air without overlapping everything. So when I get ready to go back to take us back in, I have to switch headsets to make sure that I pull the music down to where it's not just sounding like a complete and total blarb, new word for the day, when we're coming back from break. So there, now that I've babbled incessantly about something that most people are going to sit back and say, what? Okay. But most of you will understand because a lot of you run your own shows and take ideas that we put out on here. So, how you doing? Busted all over again. Welcome back into the Shooters Gallery. Fast Eddie Lane, Shane Knowles, Phil Stamper on this Thursday night edition. Oh, like the WWE doesn't take enough of our gimmicks and run with them.
I was just laughing at how quickly you moved into busted.
Yeah, really. NWARingside.com. Thanks, Bruce. But we don't have to say that anymore, do we? Before we go spotlight, I'm going to bring this one up in case, and I don't know if anything has fallen apart in the last 36 hours, but I know that Bruce Tharp and Billy Corgan have reached an agreement in principle for Corgan to buy the rights to the National Wrestling Alliance.
I thought he already did. I thought this was a done deal a week and a half ago.
Okay, I read the story on May 5th where Tharp made the premise that that everything was agreed to in principle. I haven't seen an update after that. But that's just me. It could be finalized. They could be going through all the legal 653,000 pieces of paper that are going to have to be signed. I ask you this question. Like I said, and our spotlight segments are on the way. You're in Corgan's office, sitting across the desk from him. The paperwork has been signed. Now you're formulating the game strategy. What is the first thing that you recommend that he do?
Shane? For the love of God, don't wear the suit on television. You're a friggin' rock star.
Okay.
First thing.
Say what?
No, I said that would be the first thing I would say. Sorry.
Even though you just bought the oldest and largest governing body in professional wrestling known the world over since 1903.
Just to be fair, when Billy Corgan was on Impact, and I didn't watch Impact for a while, it was not anything against Impact, it was just the time. I turned it on one day, and I was really actually kind of interested to see what Billy Corgan was doing on Impact. And he came out, I think, in a tweed jacket that had like elbow patches on it, and I'm like,
1986.
When did Professor Corgan get here? I wanted rock star Billy Corgan. I wanted excitement and energy and like, let's jazz this place up. Well, we got right here our brand new Grand Championship. Really? Like, and you know what? If that's what he likes wrestling for, then he bought a great product in the National Wrestling Alliance. And that's not me dissing on the history of the National Wrestling Alliance, but that's what it's attributed to right now is an older brand of professional wrestling. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what it's recognized as being associated with.
Okay. So you're saying the first thing you would have him do is work on his personal professional image.
Because I'm sure, and this is just, again, circumspect?
Okay.
I believe he would probably make himself the figurehead of the company. I mean, remember, like on WWE, the WWE programming is not wrestling on television. It's a television show that features wrestling. The stars of WWE programming are the McMahon family. It's a TV show. Yes, there are sometimes regular lead characters like a John Cena, but it's a TV show, and that's how it's designed. And so if he's going into it, okay, I'm going to launch this thing in a new way and bring it out, and it's going to be a new television product, well, he's probably going to have some kind of representative figure. I'm only going to imagine he's going to want it to be himself. I could be wrong. And if it is himself, and I hate to say it, and I'm not saying you should hold to the standard and copy, but if you look at WWE and what Triple H did, yeah, sure, Triple H wore a suit, but the way he carried himself, the voice he used, the tone he had when he got pissed off, he had a certain energy level. The suit didn't necessarily define him. Again, this kind of voice, and look over here, this is our brand new championship. We're not watching golf, we're watching professional wrestling in 2017.
Hey, look, if you watch the Golf Channel and you hear Faraday, trust me, he sounded better than Corgan did on that in that voice.
I'm going to use this now for my Corgan voice. I don't know if it really works.
There's a lot to be said for a drunk Scotsman, you know.
I almost spit take.
Got him. Shane, what is the first thing, Shane, that you do sitting across the desk from Corgan?
I would make the drummer of the Smashing Pumpkins, Jimmy Chamberlain, my authority figure and take myself out of it. No, but seriously, I would ask myself, what do I want the NWA to be? Because since the early 90s with the merger, takeover, whatever you like to call it, with WCW, which is now no longer around, the NWA has held a nice nostalgic place in people's minds. I know some people like Rob Conway, former stars in WWE, have went over there, but certainly no one would argue that it still has the relevance that it had from, say, 1903 through 1993. If I were Billy Corgan, my first would be, what's my goal? Is it to be like Impact? Is it going to be a weekly episodic TV show about wrestling? Or are we going to be a traveling with that NWA name, which still may hold some prominence in several markets across the United States? Or will it be a mashup of both? Are you looking to do a la Jeff Jarrett with the NWA and strike deals with Mexico and Japan? What is the goal for the NWA under Billy Corgan? That'd be what I'd ask myself. Do we want to be a glorified, I don't want to say indie, but regional promotion? Do we want to go worldwide, global? Do we want to try to compete with WWE? Do we want to try to stake our claim in there with ROH and TNA? What's the direction for the National Wrestling Alliance? Because even though it's not what it was pre-1993, it's still a name that anyone over the age of 30 is going to recognize.
I'll challenge that and say 35 to 40. Both excellent concepts, but I want to bounce this one off of you. Considering the National Wrestling Alliance is a brand represented by promotions around the country and around the world, I offer this up for your consideration. I brought out the concept in its simplest form this past Sunday on Corner to Corner. And the way that I look at things is very simple. I sit and I look Corgan straight in the eyes. You take an inventory of what companies currently use the NWA banner. You host a conference call or whatever with every one of those promoters. And this is what I want. I'm going to open up a two-pronged attack in the video medium. One, streaming directly through the website the home website of the National Wrestling Alliance, which is, of course, thanks Bruce Tharp, NWA Ringside.com, a weekly show that can be replayed. But the emphasis on this show is videos sent in from the member promotions. This week at NWA Carolina, this week at NWA West Virginia, whatever the promotions are called. I know they're not called that. But if you have one...
No, go ahead.
I want 2 matches from every live event you do. Like it or not. And I want them to be your best matches. One is a title match, the other is not. The non-title match will be a part of the website television product. The title match or the better match that you send me will go directly into the Fight TV app, because I will build an app to work with Fight TV, or a channel on Fight TV, or FloSlam or WNN, whichever one I find to be the most feasible. If each of these companies sends you 2 matches, and there's 20 promotions in the NWA, roundabout speaking, there may be 20 right now. That gives you 40 matches to work with. You can easily come up with 1 hour studio segments. Now, Phil, you're in a different geographic region. Shane, you're going to remember this. The Pedicino Blackstone WVUE Channel 69 Saturday night. Remember that?
Oh, every Saturday from 7 p.m. till the wee hours of 3 a.m. in the morning.
Damn right. You hire 2 people. One can be Corgan. The other has to be a little bit more energetic. Welcome to the show. Here's the NWA showcase for this week. We're going to lead things off with blank, and that's directly through the website, and do the same thing on whichever app you use, pay channel. $10 a month, whatever. If you can immediately make an impact, there's that damn word again, in the online streaming media category, and build your numbers with your member promotions, the companies that are paying to have that logo on their product, it generates interest if they give you good matches. I think if you start with that and put the onus on the promotions to live up to the hype of the brand, the fans will respond in kind. Agree or disagree, Shane Knowles?
Well, I don't know if this is still going on pre-Corgan purchase, but I know that the NWA, if you wanted to use said talent that was under their banner, you had to pay a certain fee to have that,
right,
as well as the logo and any of your advertisements on posters, social media, whatnot. But you said there are currently 20 promotions,
give or take,
under the banner?
Give or take.
Yeah, and we know this isn't the 1950s and 60s and 70s with all that stuff, but they can be a niche, and I hate to dwindle it down to that word, but for those of us of a certain era who remember a traveling NWA world champion with 20 promotions, I mean, you've got an opportunity to make something here, and it's funny how we talk about Brock Lesnar. You could have an NWA champion. I'm just going to use the name Rob Conway through television, through what you're talking about with 2 matches given to said promotions to air like that. You could almost make, if the champion was credible enough and believable enough, a badass or a straight shooter in people's eyes, a good worker, that it could be a pretty big deal, because now there's more avenues than ever to advertise that if your champions come into Portland, Oregon, or Charlotte, North Carolina.
Phil Stamper.
I'm mixed, and I think some of it has to do with what is the goal. Like Shane said, it's sort of, if you're developing a television show for a national audience, and forget internet, forget local attempts at syndication kinds of stuff, like, we're going for a cable channel, we're going to do a national launch. I think in a perfect world scenario, it would be great if you had the different NWA promotions as feeders for a main card event. I do like that idea of having matches from Sample Promotions. That's kind of what's already happening with the United Wrestling Network.
Right.
AIWF has tried to do that kind of stuff. When Championship Wrestling from Hollywood was an NWA, that's what they sort of showcased.
Bingo.
But some of it didn't quite work because for the audience at home, there was a reason why when you watch WWE programming, with very little exception, you can't really tell that they're in a different building other than the fact they tell it to you. When you have independent promotions with different film quality, they're not really all at the level of having TV taping, and then you try to send it on up to be shown on national television or whatever kind of stage, it could be a little bit jarring or disjointed just from a visual aspect, from that production aspect. And I get what you're saying about, okay, just pick then a couple of the best. Well, on a contractual side with those promotions, what are you saying or promising? And to me, what I would imagine is probably and again, I don't know, but what I would maybe see happen is another shakeup inside the NWA. When a few years ago, there were so many promotions and there was this question about the quality of promotions, and then there was this very unceremonious ouster of many of them, including some of the ones that were not really necessarily the worst of the worst. And it seemed like, we got rid of our quote unquote, maybe our problem children. No. There was probably a good reason why they decided that a lawyer should be the president of the NWA during that time.
That was a hostile takeover anyway, and you know that.
Right, exactly. But it also led to this, so it leads to now, okay, so what is his goal? If his goal is to do a national product, if you look back at what NWA TNA did, which was, we're a national show. We might pick a couple of the guys from different places. We are a show. We are our own thing, and we're just capitalizing on the use of the NWA name. And in the end, it didn't work. It worked to help launch Impact. It brought in a certain level of recognition, but on the other side of it, at the end of the day, it fell apart. It fell apart for the NWA, but it capitalized and gave some notoriety for Impact to succeed. But for the NWA promotions, it was like, now we're left with nothing. And there were a lot of hurt feelings, and there were a lot of people behind the scenes who were like, well, wait a minute. I was promised this. I was told this. There was this thing that was supposed to be happening. And they all felt like, well, crap. And if I even look at current day-to-day Impact TV, and I was fortunate to be a part of one of this, right, when they had the Exploration for Gold, and they highlighted different indie promotions and the Hardys going through and taking all these different title belts. And of course, we never got to see the culmination of what was going to come from all of that. There was all of a sudden this recognition of like, wait a minute, there's more talent out there.
One promotion did see the benefit of that because the Hardys earlier, I think it was late last month, early this month, made an appearance at IWC with the Raw tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Loved it. I pop like a big dog. Continue, please.
It just leads to those questions of just, what is that end goal? Because if the end goal is to raise up the level of the independents, you're starting to scrape a little shallow, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because there is plenty of talent on the independent level. What's come up more recently is some big questions regarding the WWE and their focus when it comes to NXT, because all of a sudden, a lot of other independent folks are getting shots and signings, and they have to get their medicals done. There's a lot of people who are being scouted there.
NXT
there's a lot of people under contract with Lucha Underground. There's a lot of people under contract with Impact Wrestling. Even New Japan has been scooping up American talent. So okay, yes, there are still a lot of quality talent out there, but okay, how far is this stretching? What is its reach? Are you just creating a wrestling product for the sake of creating a wrestling product? Do you have a certain goal in mind? Are you trying to develop something that has a different kind of look and style to it, like a Lucha Underground? Are you trying to do something that's trying to harken back to a broader scope, older days of professional wrestling, which you could argue maybe WWE is kind of doing right now, and to a certain degree, year 13 of Impact, or excuse me, year 13 of WCW, and when you watch Impact, and I use that reference because I work at in my life outside of wrestling, I'm associated with higher education, and many people refer to being at a college or attending a college grade 13. And so sometimes when I look at Impact, I'm like, oh, it's grade 13. It's WCW in year 13. We've just decided to take it that where it would have gone the next year.
Right.
And okay, if that's the case, then okay. But again, what's the focus? Because I what would make me want to watch? And I think that's the question. If it's compelling characters, then this Billy Corgan can't be there. If it's exciting wrestling, who are you using, and what kind of recognition is out there from people who are currently not signed? I mean, there's people, of course, that we can all think of that like, oh wow, that would give me to watch and look, but really, who would be available to jump on the bandwagon?
There'd be a few.
Really prop this up, because and this is not anything against Rob Conway, he's a great guy to work with, but if it's Rob Conway and 20 independent guys that nobody really knows yet, that's going to be a very big struggle if you're launching a national product.
And from there, you also have that opportunity to build new stars and give people what they can't get sometimes on WWE other than 3 times a year, and that's new faces. And one other part to the plan, and this is something that I haven't said. This is the first one that I said, that the first time I would do it. And Shane, I will give you the final word in just a second before we go to the top of the hour. If you have champions in place, heavyweight, women's, junior heavyweight, tag, create in one location, Nashville freaking Tennessee. Pick a venue and create the showcase. You create a live event, taped, whatever, and you bring in some people from those member promotions. Make it a 1-hour show, make it a 30-minute show to start out with, then take it to an hour, build the drama, build the run. Showcase a different champion every week. And give people a chance to latch on to new names and new concepts of characters and personalities. But like I said, you create a hub. Personally, if I had the money, I'd do it right here in Birmingham, Alabama, even though Nashville would be a much better spot. Why? Because Birmingham is the center part of the southeastern U.S. We're not that far from everywhere from North Carolina to Kentucky to Arkansas, Louisiana, and possibly even Texas. And I think we could pull that. Like I said, Nashville would be better for a lot of people, but I think Birmingham could pull it off. But you create that show to focus and introduce people to your champions, or reintroduce them to the champions, and give them a chance to learn who the new line of contenders is going to be, and try to build stars the old-fashioned way, one show at a time. Shane, I'm going to give you the last word on this one.
I'm for that, because here in my own state, of Georgia, I think, back in the day of when Carrollton, Macon, Valdosta, Marietta, whatnot, the hub, the center was Atlanta. And if you could do that, where the other shows during the week, I don't know if it would be a 7-day deal or a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or just 3-day, whatever they want, the concept they come up with. But yeah, if you had that where maybe once a month, kind of like what it was, and this is no different, not just the Omni in Atlanta, but Boutwell Auditorium in Birmingham, the Cow Palace in San Francisco, all the old territories had that place where once a month it was where the biggest stars would be, the biggest matches and the angles, and they would deviate into different crews, delve off and split up and go work the towns. I think that would be beneficial. I like that idea of having a central location where it's like, okay, maybe I've missed some of the live shows, but here's the big monthly event. And I think too, we all know that we talk about WWE having 3 hours of Raw, 3-hour pay-per-views, monthly pay-per-views, 2 pay-per-views a month. I would hope that they would stick with just maybe once a month. Don't do this weekly, because try to keep something special. I'm just throwing that here in my mind. I don't care what night it airs, but I'm just going to throw a crazy Wednesday night or Friday night, whatever. The first Thursday, Wednesday, whatever night we choose of each month, that's when you condition fans to know that that's going to be the big mega monthly event.
I say every 2 weeks. It works great for a lot of company. It works great for a lot of companies.
Well, so when Impact first started, remember the kind of cool thing was, wait a minute, there's this Tuesday night pay-per-view, while
Wednesday.
it's relatively affordable,
Wednesday.
Or was it? Well, I thought it was Tuesday at one, because it was Tuesday. It was going to be Tuesday nonstop action at one point.
Nope, it was Wednesday.
Okay.
The early days of the Asylum were Wednesdays. I do remember your Tuesday night deal too, Dave.
Gotcha. So, one of the things that made it interesting for a huge segment of the wrestling crowd was you had geographic populations that were like, wait a minute, they have Low Key from the New York area.
Yep.
They have these guys from this area, these guys from this area. And then, they peppered in some other people. And that sort of raised some early awareness. And it hurts to say this to a degree, because I like a lot of guys who are no longer on WWE television who are still out there, but then they relied on that. But they didn't rely on their talent, their ability, their charisma. They relied on them to shit on the WWE and to tell a narrative that was about how bad the other product was. And I think we talked about one time before, it became very formulaic. Oh, insert guy A who no longer works for the WWE, who's out of his contract, bring him on TV and talk about how he's so happy, how he's finally at a place where he can do what he wants, and he's not at that other place up north. And then all of a sudden, that person's gone because they didn't develop anything different. They didn't showcase anything different or anything more, or even what they used to have. It was all negative, and I can kind of sleep through what I'm doing. So it has to be something to step it up.
The only problem with the scenario is a lot of people seem to forget, especially when you get ready to snatch somebody up. Oh my God, they used to work for WWE. They can help us with ratings. They can help us with tickets. If they don't work for WWE and they were let go for some reason, there's a reason they were let go. That's why, I'm sorry, I would adopt Vince's theory. Screw the competition. I'm focusing on my product. I don't want to talk about what everybody else is doing. I don't want to give them a reason to change the channel. How many times do you hear on WWE programming in the last 5 years, how many times do you know that they mentioned another promotion other than when it came to the Hall of Fame? That's what I thought.
AJ Styles and New Japan, because they couldn't talk about TNA, and they had to try to put over the fact that he was a recognized name in the world of professional wrestling.
But everybody already knew about, most people already knew about New Japan. New Japan's app rental is going remarkably well. But they didn't have to do it. But New Japan, that's why they did it, just so they could stick it to TNA. They talk about them without talking about them. Folks, tell you what, for those of you listening live, Hour 1 is in the books, and believe me, we could go on about this discussion because there's so many different facets that we have not even touched yet. Believe it. But Hour 1 of the books, Hour 2's right around the corner. For those of you catching us on the YouTube replay, come on over, check out the radio station, check out all of the live and original content that we have on Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. You are listening to the Shooters Gallery on ProWrestlingRadio.net and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.